Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another League of Legends commentary. This is going to be a very special one that I want to be talking over because this game is pretty much a 4 versus 5. As you can see on the minimap in the bottom left of the map, Riven is chilling at her base. Now this is a friend of mine that simply just was not able to connect, so it's not like he's purposely doing this or anything like that, you know. He literally could not connect for the whole game. So this whole game was played without a jungler on our team 4v5, and I just want to show that, you know, it is still possible to win. You just have to play a very OP champion. And in this case, my choice of champion is Syndra because she is just OP. She is pretty much the Fizz version of a ranged kind of caster because she does so much damage. Her laning phase is just, it's so good. It's really, really good. And her burst potential at level 6, I think, other than maybe Annie, is some of the highest. She also has probably one of the best pokes because she can obviously use her Q, which honestly, let's be honest, it has pretty good range. But the main aspect of it is the fact that she can use the Q while she's moving, meaning that you can kind of fake it out. You can pretend like you're walking forward, then you walk backwards, and as you're walking backwards, then the enemy, you know, champion you're laning against thinks you're kind of retreating for a bit, you know, maybe go for CS. As they go in for the CS, you just Q, and they're like, oh my god, what the hell, this guy was walking away, but he just Q'd me as he was walking away and facing the other way. What is this trickery? What is this witchcraft? So it's just insane. And here, look at this. Aatrox ganks me, no problem. I just simply pop my ulti onto the Lissandra, and she's dead. So there's a few things I want to quickly mention to you guys before I kind of go on with the commentary on this video. The first thing is I want to ask you guys if you actually like these kind of commentary videos, because if you do, I'll be more than happy to put out more of these kind of videos where I just do a fast mode kind of gameplay and then I commentate over it, talking about, you know, the game itself, what I think about certain things, and just overall pretty useful information, I think. So again, if you like this stuff, tell me, and if you want to see more, and I'll just keep putting out more stuff like this, and you know what, I think it'll be pretty cool. At the same time, if there's anything specific that you guys want me to like talk about or cover in these kind of videos, something that maybe I'm not mentioning or something that you wish I mentioned or something of the sort, tell me in the comments as well, and I'll be sure to kind of put that in mind, and maybe for the next one I'll start covering that. Or yeah, you know, I'll take it into consideration. The next thing is that the giveaway. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, the Razer giveaway I put out a couple weeks ago for the mouse and the headset. I will be announcing the winners on December 15th, which is in about like 3 or 4 days or something. And I will be posting the winners that I choose, the 2 winners, on my Facebook, my Twitter, and Anouk pages. I'll just announce their names. Keep in mind, this is, of course, you know, people that are following me on Anouk will win. And I'll also inbox you on the Anouk page. So, you know, check your messages there. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's that. And also, just a little small note, I'm almost done exams, so I have 2 more on Friday, and then I am a free man, and I will be doing YouTube full time, so that's pretty cool. Alright guys, let's go back to the video. As I was jabbering over there about random stuff, I'm sure you noticed that I am just doing pretty damn good in this game. I mean, I don't even have boots yet. Once again, it's almost like Fizz, where I just rushed my first item. I didn't get boots. I don't really want boots. I don't know. Boots are overrated on some champions, and I don't really need a boots against the Syndra, or rather a Lissandra, so I'm like, whatever, it's not a big deal. I'm super strong right now, so even if Aatrox comes after me, I am just gonna probably 2v1 them, or at least get a kill and die in the process. So it's like, you know, I didn't really care. So let's talk about Syndra. What makes her OP? The reason I like Syndra is because, like I mentioned, her Q is just probably one of the best pokes in the game in lane. It's just really good. It has low cooldown, it has decent range, it has nice AoE, and you can use it while moving, which is honestly, I think, the biggest part of it that I just think is so good. So there you just saw me do a nice little fail. I didn't throw my W. I had the W ready to go. I was supposed to throw it and then use my E, but I don't know. I obviously messed up, and that was pretty embarrassing. So as you can see, I don't have a blue. I didn't get 1 blue this game until late game because, I mean, we have no jungler, right? So we can't really contest the blue, and the enemy jungler just keeps on taking it, and he's just like, sweet, yo, free blue. I like this. So another thing I like about her is her W is also really good. If you can really like cast the skills really fast. So I kind of missed my thing. I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to ulti you. That was a pretty bad decision. I should have kind of tried killing with my other skills and then killed Lee Sin with my ulti, because here I actually missed my W and I do end up dying. I got the kill, but I did die unnecessarily. That was pretty bad considering I was 8-0 when I died, so I gave Lee Sin quite a bit of gold there. But her W is really good because in lane, you can use the Q, then W, and then throw the W right on top of them really fast. One thing that's really nice to do, and here's a really nice combo. This is like the most kind of basic standard combo that you really need to understand and get down if you want to play Syndra. You want to throw your Q, then as the Q is back off of cooldown or very close to it, kind of like what I did there actually. When the Q is almost off of cooldown after you use the first one, you want to use a W, throw something at them, and then stun them. Or the other way around, you throw the Q, wait a little bit, just a little bit, and then use the stun, you stun them, and then you use a W, because they're stunned now, obviously it's the best chance to hit the Q, or to hit the W, and then you Q as you're Wing them as well. And you pretty much ulti right after. The reason you want to do that is because you want to have at least 2 Qs out when you ulti, just so your ulti does more damage, because, you know, your ulti does do more damage the more balls you have, even though that sounds a little weird. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. So, I mean, I did it in the earlier example, which is a really nice kind of way. So again, Q, stun, W, and then Q, or Q, then W, pretty much in any form of order. And you should be pretty good to go. So there I can't kill the Aatrox just because the Lissandra got a pretty decent ulti on me actually. She pretty much saved him, and I actually go after her here. I go for the flash and I ulti her and everything. She messes up her E. But luckily for her, she does have flash, so I couldn't really get her. I kind of go for a little nice QE over there for the funsies, but I obviously missed. But yeah, that's what really makes her good. Her stun is actually pretty nice, so it's a little hard to hit. I mean, she is not an easy champion, right? She can be definitely difficult to play if you're a newcomer or if you've never played her, because you have to position yourself almost perfectly to land your stuns, because you can't stun anyone unless you obviously, you know, have your ball hit them. And to have your ball hit them in a specific trajectory and angle, it can be a little difficult if you're not used to it. So check out this example. Bam, throw the W in there, position the W with my stun. That's a really important thing to remember actually. Your W is extremely important and almost core to position your Q so that you can stun them. So for instance, there what I like to do, before I'm about to go into a big fight, I like to Q just in a random spot beside me, not necessarily hitting anyone. I just like to Q. I like to pretty much buffer the Q, if you will. I pick up the Q with the W, and then I have it, like I'm holding, right? I have it ready. And then, as I'm walking into the fight, I throw it to where I want it to be, trying to hit them, but mainly I'm trying to position the stun. And I try hitting as much people, or as many people as I can with the stun. And then I follow up with maybe another Q, another W, or, you know, ulti, or whatever, you know, whatever the situation may call for. But that's usually what I like to do. I like to buffer the Q, hold the W before I get into the fight, and then throw it off there. And by the time you get into the fight, you know, chances are you'll have the skills up again, and should be pretty good to go. So here's a pretty cool example. I do a lot of damage. I burst that Nidalee. I mean, I knew I can't get away. I knew this Aatrox has this passive, so I'm like, there's no point in me trying to target him. So I just throw everything I have on the Nidalee. I think I had 2 or 3 balls there, and just pretty much balls to her face, man. That Nidalee just experienced a serious amount of balls to her face. One thing you want to get with Syndra is you usually I like to get CDR, because CDR on her is extremely important. You want to use her skills as much as possible. That's pretty much what kind of champion she is. You want her to be able to pretty much spam and spam and spam her Q over and over and over again. Your Q is your main weapon, and you want to be able to just throw that bad boy out just as often as possible. Really that simple. Which is why I really like to get Athene's and Holy Grail. Morellonomicon is honestly not a bad choice either. Either or is good. If you're up against maybe an AD middle, maybe Morellonomicon is not a bad choice. If you're up against an AP, then probably you want to get Athene's. Then I like to get usually DFG, because it just complements her burst kit so well. I mean, if your burst kit's not enough to get someone down from full to nothing, then that DFG will, unless it's someone that's building pure tank, like maybe a Volibear or something, it will pretty much guarantee that, you know what, you will probably be able to burst that person down. And then after that, you obviously can follow up with whatever. I mean, this is not exactly essential, though I do recommend usually getting a CDR item first, unless you're up against a Zed. If you're up against a Zed, you probably want to rush Hourglass first. But if you're up against almost anyone else, you do want to get a CDR item first, so Athene's or Morellonomicon, and then follow it up with something like a Deathfire, something like an Hourglass, something like a Rabadon's. You know, depending on your preferences, which one you prefer. I don't recommend Rabadon's because I think that's a little too ballsy. I don't know. I just think Deathfire is just the best one. I mean, that's just, you can't really go wrong with Deathfire on her. It just complements her kit so damn well. But it does kind of make her a bit harder to use with the Deathfire, since now on top of, you know, her being a little bit difficult to use in the first place with all her skills specifically having to be used in a specific way to combo properly and all that stuff, you now have to worry about Deathfire getting out there first and then using her skills. And, you know, it can be a little difficult, but it can really increase your damage if you get it right. So I recommend Deathfire, but if you're not really comfortable with that, Deathcap or Hourglass really is not a bad choice as well. For her skills, maxing her Q first is really a no-brainer, I honestly think. Like I said, I've been saying it this whole game, or this whole video, it is her main skill. Next, you want to max either your W or your E, because, I don't know, it's really personal preference. If you want to max your E first, just to be a bit more safe so you can maybe stun people better, it's not a bad idea. But I like maxing her W first because it is more damage, and the lower cooldown on it is just really useful because I like to go for that crazy lane pressure. I like to go really offensive in lane, and having that W on lower cooldown and dealing more damage, it's just better, right? I'll just be able to do more damage more often and just more consistently. So the E is more of a utility spell. You know, I'm pretty much relying on my skills to be able to land the stun and to push people away properly, and I'm relying on the, obviously, you know, the Q and the W to deal just crazy harass damage, as you saw in the early parts of this video. So sometimes you can see the ulti cannot be enough to burst someone down. I had, I think, all 7 on the Nilly there or something, pretty much maximum damage, and she did survive it. It was pretty close, and she was full. I mean, it was only my ulti, I mean, you know, whatever. But, you know, your ulti can't, even though it's really OP, it's still not exactly enough to just flat out nuke anyone you want from full to nothing without a DFG or anything. So there's a pretty cool kill, showing the true power of her Q. I mean, that Nilly did take quite a bit of damage from that Q, and I mean, it's not something you want to be, I don't know, it's not something you want to tank, let's just say that. Nice little surprise in that Lissandra. And one thing when you play Syndra in a team fight is you want to pretty much kite people around. You want to keep spamming Qs obviously as often as possible, hitting someone, throwing the Ws everywhere, you know, just keep throwing that off and on, off and on. And then you want to position yourself. You want to get that nice E, because her E can be so game changing. It can be team fight changing. Just how good it is. I mean, it's either really good or really bad. I mean, if you get a beautiful E and you stun a lot of people, you know, you can turn on a team fight and just literally win off of just that one stun. Or you can completely suck dick and just completely miss the team or the stun, and your team's gonna be like, wow, what the hell, you know, this is like the worst Syndra ever, and you're pretty much useless. And I mean, yeah, it's really a do or die skill, but if you do, then you do really well. Looking at my scores, you can see I am 23, 7, and 5. Again, 4v5, don't forget, very much carryable with a champion like Syndra. So I mean, I mentioned earlier in the video, or in another video, that Fizz is probably the best assassin to carry games. Well, if you can master Syndra and you don't like playing assassins, maybe because they're, you know, you don't like melee champions, or you like casters more, whatever the reason may be, take a look at Syndra. I really recommend trying her out. She is super strong. She's a bit hard to play, so you know, you will have to practice her just a little bit, but if you can get her down, I promise you, you will absolutely destroy your games. She's just way too strong, and I don't know, I feel like she's a little too strong, to be completely honest. Her burst damage is way too high, her ulti is just amazing, her poke in lane is just insane, and I don't know, she brings a lot to the team, and she does a lot of damage. So, and it's consistent damage too. It's not even just burst damage. She has burst damage and consistent damage, which is why I like her so damn much. But yeah, so again, guys, tell me if you like this kind of videos. Tell me if you want to see more and what you want me to talk about specifically in these videos. If you know, if I'm missing anything or whatever the case may be. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video, and I also hope to see you guys next time. Peace.